Good afternoon. Thanks. I can't really see if there's anybody out there, but I trust that you're there. I'd like to join the many faculty, staff, and students who this week have extended a very warm welcome to you, the Carnegie Mellon class of 2023+. I'm here today to provide some guidance and advice from a faculty perspective as you head into the start of your academic work. I was honored, but also a bit intimidated when I was asked to speak today. However, I am a believer that as educators, we must also continue to be students. Putting ourselves in novel situations that challenge us as learners is important in thinking about how we work with you in classes and other learning opportunities over the coming years. When I'm scared or nervous about taking on something new, as some of you might be at this juncture, I consider risk. What's the worst case scenario I can envision? And if that's acceptable, I have more confidence moving forward. In this case, I thought, well, maybe the worst case would be I wouldn't be asked to speak at this event again, and okay, I can accept it. I also considered that there, like Evan said, there's a high likelihood that you will remember little of the specifics, as this is but one talk among many this week. I determined that if all you remember was that there was a faculty member who's genuinely excited to partner with you on this journey, then that's really all that's necessary. Perhaps that means I should just stop here, but as a parent, fairly recent grandparent, teacher, and academic advisor, I do find it rather difficult to keep my opinions to myself. So I definitely look upon this as a target of opportunity. The theme of this year's orientation, as you know, is breakthrough, a word that usually indicates a sudden, dramatic development. For the purpose of this talk, I would like to use it initially as two words, breakthrough. To make the most of this experience, you need to be willing to break through preconceptions you might have, those regarding who you are and who or what you will become, what you are and are not good at, and consider what that means with regard to learning in any case, what you think you already know or still need to explore, and what you want to study. To make the most of your time here, you need to be willing to be surprised by the people you will meet, peers, staff, and faculty, the classes you will take, and the organizations, activities, and research you will engage in. I'm a chemist, and as a faculty member do a lot of laboratory teaching. I believe that hands-on chemistry is amazing and enjoy using visual demonstrations of chemistry concepts in my teaching. So in talking about the element of surprise, I'll turn to some chemistry. And I have to thank the folks organizing this event who decided that they would let me go along and do this, because it's kind of not a typical thing up here. The question is, are they safe? I was asked whether everyone on stage should wear safety glasses, but I think it's going to be okay. All right, so I have here 8 empty, hopefully clean beakers, okay? I have 2 solutions, and I'm going to add some of each of those in turn to these beakers. So the solution is clear, colorless. If I add clear, colorless solution to 8 empty beakers, make a prediction about what will happen. All right, in all probability, fascinating. Clear, colorless solution in 8 beakers. All right, so predictable so far. Okay, now I have a second clear, colorless solution. And I'm going to add some to each of these beakers in turn as well. Now, you might expect, not so exciting so far, you might expect some changes, because otherwise this would be really boring. But it would probably be expected that as I add the solution, that the same thing would happen in each of the beakers. Well, This is not exactly going according to plan. All right. I kind of need some larger beakers or more concentrated solution. We'll see if we can maybe add a little bit more. All right. So the lesson here is that don't always think that you know what's going to happen. All right? It's really important that you look up periodically. All right? Take a look and engage with the world around you and be willing to be surprised. All right. If you want to talk about how that happened or why it happened, my office is in Doherty Hall, and I welcome visitors. Even if class material sounds like something you've learned before, engage with it. Look for opportunities that afford you to find nuances you've never noticed before, applications that will lead to breakthroughs, one word, by the people you are learning from and with. I'm always amazed when I teach something again that even now I see connections that were not apparent before, often due to seeing it through your eyes as we explore the material together. In looking up, I encourage you to connect with those in your academic life whose job it is to reach out their hand to you. It is one of the great strengths of this institution that there are many individuals here to support you academically. In this, we have taken one of the premier research universities in the world, and I believe given it the character of a much smaller place, leading to a more personalized experience. It is very easy, though, to feel intimidated here as you immerse yourself in a community that's so rich in talent. Many of us, myself included, and probably at least some of those here on the stage, have or will feel this at some time. How can we possibly measure up? It can make it hard to ask for help. Break through your inhibitions and any tendency to find fault with your efforts and reach out to some of those talented people, celebrating in the accomplishments of others and sometimes just enjoying the opportunity to go along for the ride. You may be surprised by where it will take you. Next, look at your academic experience as far more than a body of formal coursework. You're sculpting a resume where classwork only constitutes one portion of the whole. Get involved in the campus and greater Pittsburgh community, but also think about how you engage with people. Observation number 2, small changes in who you know can yield big benefits. Get to know your advisors, faculty members, graduate TAs, and peers who act as academic coaches, supplemental instructors, peer tutors, and teaching assistants. If you're doing well academically, which we certainly hope you will, connect because they're experts in their field and can help you explore beyond the course material and are enthusiastic about sharing that excitement, or perhaps even engaging with you in the work. If you find yourself having some rough periods academically, we really do care about helping you identify the problem and can assist in finding solutions. As you go forward, you will want a number of faculty who can know you as more than a grade. You want a cadre of people who can highlight for others that distinctive you, with an understanding of your strengths and aspirations, with knowledge of your good work and habits, and insight into your motivation. Please don't think that you have to be the top student to build those relationships and receive that kind of acknowledgement. Small things can help get you noticed and remembered positively. Smiling, as the provost said when you see us on campus, being alert and curious in class, engaging with us outside of class. Sometimes your small actions can open important doors and make you seem like just the right person to invite for new opportunities. I brought another visual demonstration to this point. In the cylinder, I have some dish detergent and hydrogen peroxide. The purpose is to demonstrate the rather large change brought about by something as simple as adding some salt. So small actions can catalyze much bigger things, such as a first-year student who struck up a conversation with a faculty member at an orientation event not long ago, it leading to a research project in atmospheric chemistry that has since led him to a Goldwater Scholarship and an International Summer Research Fellowship in Great Britain. My last piece of advice is to be thoughtful in crafting your journey, keeping your individual goals and values in mind, or at least to begin to discover what your goals may be. When I asked an alum what he would have wanted to hear at Convocation, he said something that reminded me of a line from one of my favorite movies, "Toto, we're not in Kansas, but substitute high school anymore." For the majority of you, academic life will be very different for you at Carnegie Mellon than it was in high school. John W. Gardner said the ultimate goal of the educational system is to shift to the individual the burden of pursuing their own education. This major shift towards independent responsibility happens almost immediately during your college experience. As teachers, it's our role to academically lay out the signs for the road trip, to provide you with the opportunity to travel and support you along the way, but it's up to you to develop the itinerary and navigate the journey, making this your journey. In the book, How to Find the Work We Love, Lawrence Bolt talks about how our expectations regarding work have changed dramatically, from doing the work we were born into doing, to working to make a living, to looking to find a place for your heart and soul in your work. In your academic work here, search for those things you can see investing in over a lifetime. Don't be intimidated by the often overused phrase of finding your passion, because that doesn't always happen right away. Did I always know that chemistry was what I wanted to do? No. I loved history and English. Honestly, I went into chemistry because someone who should have known better told me that I couldn't because I was female. My position at CMU did not exist when I started. The same is true for the majority of jobs you will hold on graduation. So recognize that your journey may be quite different from that of your friends, and that you may have the opportunity to invent a lot of where you will go. So it's worth thinking about what can energize you over many years. So to recap, be willing to be surprised. You can't make breakthroughs, one word, if you approach every experiment being certain of the answer you think you will get. Most of our paths in life are not straight or predictable. Second, take some academic risks. A student headed for medical school decided to take a philosophy course as one of those required electives, found that she loved it, and instead did graduate work in biomedical ethics. Another student started as an architect, but discovered through a random elective that he enjoyed designing molecules too. He received a BA in both chemistry and architecture, and just finished his PhD in natural products chemistry. An art student was concerned about transferring colleges because she would have to take a course in computer science. She finished 2 degrees, one in CS, and is now working at Google. Break through your fears and try new things. Lastly, make time and opportunity to reflect on what you love. Utilize the people around you to help you do this. It's impossible at this juncture to accurately picture your future self, who will be the end user for the path you will construct here. Don't assume that you know yourself well enough yet intellectually to be certain about what you will and will not enjoy studying, or what may interest you in a few years. Plant some seeds that may lead to breakthroughs, one word, when the time is right for them. The next 4 or 5 years should be a time of great change for you. Don't be afraid of it, but relish in the possibilities. Break through. So best of luck on this day and the tomorrows yet to come that will constitute your Carnegie Mellon experience. Welcome to our community. I now invite Rosie back to the podium.